Today we have another Haas game. Here in the bottom left spawning is the blue Protoss. Still his, I can only assume to be a significant other floating around his nexus. We have our man Haas opening up with a gas first. He's going to be playing against Rex, a Taiwanese Zerg player playing for Team GP. Rex for a while also was part of Jin Air Green Wings and probably has been one of the Taiwanese players that actually traveled a fair amount to try to improve. Stayed in Korea for longer amounts of time. Also, I think stayed in the foreigner house for a bit with Scarlet Special. Can't quite no regret, of course, was there, and a bunch of other people that were there. Lambo stayed there, Laser stayed there. Haas starting up here with a gas first, and with that gas first, usually what you do is you have either a late scout after that nexus. I think he's gonna use this. Okay, this is kind of odd. So right now Haas decided to scout after Nexus rather than after Cybercore. He had to pull down a second probe. I thought this was going to be because he wanted to proxy a pylon or something like that, but no, he's just straight up sending his probe across the map. He's gonna be checking out this hatchery. Rex on the other hand realized, hey, I'm not being scouted, so I don't think there's going to be a block on my third base. Went for the 20 supply hatchery. You can see that it's extremely fast. Does delay the queen, of course, a little bit in the main base. She don't quite have the money for that. It's delayed by about 10-15 seconds. Pulls out of gas a little bit as well, and we'll see what he decides to follow up. Is this a delayed cannon rush? Or is he just playing a weird +1 attack opener? As the probe is not going towards the third base, I don't think it's going to be a delayed cannon rush. So instead we're going to be looking at a fast +1 here. This is a typical Haas build, by the way. Like, he just loves these weird forge builds that don't make a lot of sense and tend to not do a lot. Unless they're in the hands of the Taiwanese god himself. Stalker first as well, so the ultimate unit, of course, for initial scout denying. Didn't manage to block the natural, but Haas doesn't never really seem to care too much. Looking for any potential overlords. He knows there's an overlord on the right side, but he's hoping to find an overlord on the left side as well. He's even gonna pop out. Oh, he's popping out pretty far. He's even gonna go towards this tower. I'm surprised Rex didn't respond to this. Had a lot of time to respond. He's going to no. Gonna keep his Ling alive for now. And Rex, of course, being well aware of of who Haas is, starts sending links around the map, making sure there's no proxy hidden on the map. Kind of like that. We have 3 more gates going down, and we have a Twilight Council as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see the robotics facility go down soon as well, so we can get that prism going. It's going to be 4 gate Zealots charge with +1, a very old school build. I did a game before of Haas where he played this build, and back there I mentioned that this is a build that Haas used a lot in his big DreamHack Valencia run in 2018. Managed to be nerd with it, I believe. I think he might have even taken a game of Serral. I think he actually took 2 games of Serral in the tournament, but I think he did it with this build once. I could be wrong though. There's a lot of links on the way here for Rex. Look at that. Why is he getting so many links? 18, 14, 16 links here for Rex. Robo is on the way now as well. I mean, the Zealot's just gonna die. We have Dark Shrine coming up as well. More Zealots are being warped in. 2, 3, 4 Zealots. No +1 done yet, but it is about to finish up in about 10 seconds. And once +1 finishes up, these links are never going to be able to trade very well anymore. But these Zealots might just be dead at that point. Slightly being out of position here is not quite what Haas probably wanted. Now charge and +1 are done. Was this rally really worth it for Rex? I think the answer is just going to be yes. This definitely was worth it. He killed a bunch of Zealots. He did lose a bunch of links as well though. But now the follow-up attack out of Haas just isn't going to be too strong. Roaches are already on the way. Extra overlords are coming out. 53 workers against 40, and I'm actually really liking this position here for Rex. Haas as always, still on 2 gases. The Dark Shrine is scaring me though if you're a Rex fan. There's really nothing to deal with. Well, you got your lair but not a single Overseer. Oh, here we go. Overseer starts morphing as well. Here come the zealots. Only 4 zealots are gonna be moving back. 8 zealots total right now. Where's that prism going? Where's that prism going? Prism seems to be heading towards the main base of Rex, as his overseer is flying towards his third. You have a Ling run by. Does this creep tumor... Will this creep tumor be able to see it? I'm not quite sure. This game honestly looks really bad for Haas right now. If we're just looking at the actual numbers, we see 61 workers for Rex, who's already getting his +1, who's getting roach speed, who has good economy, who just has a nice gas count. It's going to be going up to 6 gases. The problem that I see for him, and that I'm predicting, is that his overseer is not going to be in position necessarily. Yeah. Prism's gonna fly into the main base as well. I think Rex just saw this DT come in. Yep, here comes the DT. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 workers going down almost immediately. 7 workers going down, and worker count taking a little bit of a nosedive here. No DT managed to get warped into the main base, so overall not the worst case for Rex, who still is at a pretty decent drone count, but he does need to be careful. He needs to keep warping, or needs to keep morphing in more and more units. Roaches preferably, but also a couple of banelings would be very nice, because his opponent is so low on gases. Haas still completely on 2 gas. Pure Zealot, Immortal, 1 to 2 sentries. Of course we have this Prism with Zealots going into the main base as well. Rex, however, is ready for it. 2 queens, 5 roaches. This army also semi being pushed back, but I'm not quite sure if Haas... Oh, first good force field. A couple of banelings just going into single zealots at this point. Yeah, these banelings are doing a good job here, taking out all of these zealots. A big warp in the main base though, and this is what, 10, 12 zealots at this point. A lot of roaches are going to fall. Good kiting coming out of Rex. No drones really have gone down except for 2. Now we have 2 immortals moving forward. Interesting move here out of Haas. Very dangerous. If there's a bunch of links, this could just get surrounded. Zealots here in the main base still dealing a lot of damage, as Rex wasn't really ready for it. Prism with the 2 immortals is now dropping behind the mineral line with +1 armor, +1 attack. Capable of doing a fair amount of damage. These zealots are going to fall, and even though he managed to take out a lot of the workers, his supply is just really low. 12 workers have gone down, but 120 supply against 85. 8 more zealots get warped in immediately. No +2 on the way yet. And here comes the roach attack. No, I don't think this is the correct answer actually. I don't think this is quite what you want if you're a Zerg player here. Because you gotta see it like this. The longer this game goes on, the worse the army of Haas starts to scale. He is a player that is just waiting right now for his zealots to do damage. And once you have a decent baneling count, these pure zealot armies just turn to complete crap. Here, however, with a big flank, he's going to be able to at least deal a fair amount of damage to these Ravagers. Attack hit before +2 as well. Rex, with an ill-informed decision here, is going to bite the dust. Haas will start chasing immediately. 61 workers against 56. No fort base still here for Rex, and I actually think he might just straight up die here, as Haas is chasing with the Prism. Perhaps a little bit too deep right now, as well, 4 immortals, 8 more zealots. No zealot warping gets denied. These roaches are taking an absolute beating from these immortals though. There's still a couple of Ravagers alive. Single queen helping out, trying to take out that Prism as well. 1 immortal goes down. Second immortal will go... Oh my god, this is one of the riskiest warpings that I've seen in my life. Prism does get taken out, but 7 zealots get warped in. 2 immortals survive as well. No fort base here though for Rex. And Haas is already on his own fort, so... Not entirely sure what is happening here, but we see continued immortal production off of 2 gas. This is such a silly build order. Blink +2 on the way as well. Spinecrawler making his way into the main base, but as long as Rex is just trying to survive on 3 bases while his opponent is at 4 bases, I don't think it's going to work. Right now Rex is getting into those melee upgrades, but I mean, he should have been at 75, 80 workers at this point, fighting with 15 to 25 banelings every single fight. Instead, what we're seeing is heavy roach counts, low worker count, and no fort base. Here comes Haas one more time. He is up 10 workers. There's no need for him to do this, but yet here he goes. 3 immortals, relatively exposed. Zealots coming in though to kind of save the day. Is there a prism here? Yep, prism is flying in. Immortal's gonna take. No bile beating here. Quick pickup there on the immortal. Decent micro out of Haas, but a lot of the zealots actually have disappeared here, and we see 71 worker or 71 army supply against 30 army supply. And once again Rex says, hey, that's interesting. Let's see if this time I can attack into you. Should probably be waiting for at least a couple of banelings though. Has no links with this army whatsoever, and once again is going to be fighting into immortal pure zealot, and that tends to not be the way. Another immortal shows up here. No, Rex, I don't think you can do that. Here comes the flank one more time. +2, not quite done yet for Haas. Immortals are being microed for maximum DPS output. And not doing the greatest job with that. And a lot of these zealots are just getting kited right now. 1600 minerals in the bank as well here for Haas. Should be capable of right now building 2 immortals. No, wait, that one robo did get cancelled. So still only on a single robo. More gateways on the way. Baneling speed starting now as well. And I kind of do like that. Fort base on the way. You could say, well, the worker count is so low here for Rex, but I really don't mind seeing this late fort base. Even if it perhaps doesn't seem like it's going to play too much of a role, it's just nice that even if one of the bases mines out, you send a couple of workers there. It's definitely what is happening here, right? These bases are all getting mined out, and Rex just needs a place to mine. A place where he can lay his head. Just relax for a little bit with the drones. 10 more banelings on the way. At this point though, we're on 4 gas already, and stalkers are starting to hit the field. Of course, stalkers not the greatest unit against baneling either. Always important to keep that in the back of your mind. But already an army that looks a lot more scary for banelings to just crash into. I mean, if it's just 40 zealots and the rest immortals, yeah, 20 banelings are going to do the trick. Right now, probably gonna need more, like 30, 35 banelings in order to fight an army like this. +2 is on the way as well. We see Rex is oh, here it's already aware of this base. Probably wants to send something over there. Here come the banelings. Oh, just moving straight in. This is not it. The roaches are not here, and yeah, then the splits are going to be very effective. This was a terrible engagement here. Oh no, none of the roaches were there to kind of back up those banelings. What you want with the banelings is you just want them to kind of run around while they're tanking damage for you and then exploding onto big chunks of stalkers and zealots, but instead they just ran initially into a single zealot and then into a small group of stalkers without the roaches being there to back them up. So a lot of tanking power just kind of got lost there in the sauce. More balls raining down, but I think Haas has this game. Rex doesn't have the units to defend his fort base. +2 never really did finish for him. +3 is on the way for Haas already. And 5 base against the 3 base Zerg. 71 workers. Almost pure minerals. This man is made of minerals, not out of gas. As he's blinking forward, immortals shooting through the opposition. And Haas is going to take game number 1 here in this best of 3 series. GG gets called, and Haas indeed wins game number 1. Alright, game number 2 here between Rex and Haas. And we see Rex saying, alright, it's real nice and real fun what you did last game with that gas first, but let's see how great you are against my 12 pool. I think that's a completely fair thing to say here. Once again, the gas first out of Haas. Look at that. 12 pool against gas first. Now, this is largely considered to be a free win for the Zerg. Or at least to be a situation for the Zerg where the Zerg gets so far ahead that it's almost impossible to lose. And the reason for this is 2 things. First of all, you know you're going to be scouting very late if you're the Protoss in this situation. Fastest scout possible is going to be after the Nexus. And on top of that, your gateway is just delayed compared to what it usually is. So usually your gateway goes down before the gas, now it goes down after the gas. It's like a 7-8 second delay there. That... Are you still gonna scout with this? I don't quite know what he's doing. Oh, he's just looking for proxy hatches. Okay, he's just looking for a proxy hatch. So, it's funny, he doesn't scout, plays gas first, and still goes for some safety in there, I guess. A little bit of safety. Scouts with this probe rather than with the probe that you usually scout with, which is the one that builds the cybercore here. Oh, we see the links actually going around, so this probe is going to be completely useless. And there's a really important thing here, and that's that whether you can build that zealot or not. That is the most important thing. And I actually think he might be capable of building that zealot, because he's not going to get supply blocked yet. So we can cancel one worker and then build the zealot. Here we go. Yep, zealot gets chrono boosted. 10 workers should come off the line. You know, way more. We have 12, 13 workers coming off the line. This pylon is going down very rapidly though. I wouldn't have minded if he just would have ran away for a bit. Either run away or try to take down the pylon. But I think fighting with the probes at this point doesn't have that much use yet. Right now see a little bit of a supply block here for Haas. Needs to wait for his Nexus to finish up. We have a wall coming in as well. And Haas is actually going to temporarily survive. Of course, the fight is not over yet. He lost a lot of mining time here. Overall, I actually think this was a pretty good trade here for Rex. Like I said, this has not ended yet. This gateway is going to fall. We see a lot of probes being pulled once again in the natural. I actually think he should just fight. I think he should want to fight with these probes. Right now he has the maximum amount of links that he's ever going to get. He could have taken out 4 or 5 probes. These links are going to lose their value, at least for the next 4 or 5 minutes. And I wouldn't be too afraid of a counterattack as long as you keep 3 or 4 links alive. Now I'm not even sure who's actually ahead. Is it actually going to be Rex that is ahead? Or is it going to be Haas? I don't know. Third base is coming down pretty fast. Gas is already taken here for Rex though. Probe goes home, makes it home, gets to tell his friends about the other side of the map. I think when you're the first one of your friends to go to Australia, you know. What's it like there? Because Australia is a bit of a weird place. I remember one of my friends went to Australia. And my entire friend group came together. He showed us pictures of Australia. Oh, not upside down. We all discussed it over bears, kangaroos, koala bears. Very interesting. That probe now has similar stories. Do you know where he is? I think the probe got damaged. Here we go. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Wow. Once again, we have a couple of links moving in. Trying to take out these gateways. We have a similar build order opener here coming out of Haas. And guess what? Rex actually is going to end up finding that. Which is a pretty big deal. Saw the forge, and there really is like half a build with a forge opener. So this really can only be one thing. Should start pulling out of gas once he has enough to get that charge going. And maybe he needs a little more gas. Oh, he's going to love the 4 gas here. Okay, so he's changing pace. At least a little bit. This is not quite the same build as he did before. Huh. Straight dark strike this time around as well. Do we get a robo with this, or? What are we going to be getting with this? Third base, 5 minutes. 2 adept shade in. Link speed is done though, so these adepts shouldn't get too much work done. Nice little spore move there. Drone was going to die otherwise. Loses 2 drones, saves 1 with a spore. Not the greatest trade for Haas, but also one he isn't too unhappy with, right? It's just an okay trade. 2 drones and a drone pool. It's like, well, I can live with it indeed. 6 roaches on the way. Rex is afraid of the charge plot build right now. I can feel it, I can see it. But Haas is not doing the charge plot build. Haas is going to be going into a higher gateway count right now. That's 4 gates to be exact. But with the 4 gas that he already has, he should be capable of actually mixing in a couple of DTs. Perhaps start sentry production. We see continued roach production here. Ooh. Wait, this is a dropper lord without overlord speed. This is one of those things that's not really a thing, you know? It's an illusion of the mind. Look at this. By the time this Overlord arrives, there will be 2 carriers out to shoot it. And right now the Stargate hasn't even started yet. This Overseer is moving in as well, but without speed, I'm not quite sure if this is going to do too much. We have 3 DTs moving out across the map. This Overseer on the other side of the map doesn't get anything. We don't have a single Overseer here at home. Now we have this ill-informed move out on the map here coming out of Rex. 61 army supply against 20. DTs are being split up though, and I think this might just be a little bit too much for the Taiwanese Zerg, because he doesn't really have much of anything to fight these DTs. And once these DTs force the army back, there's going to be Immortals out. Link drop is going to happen. 12 workers, or yeah, 12 workers actually have gone down already at this point. DT is going to fall at the natural. DT at the 3rd base still going ham though. Took out a couple of drones, takes out a queen now as well. This DT survives. Doesn't even get taken out, no. Rex looking for that AT. Oh. And is actually going to find it as well. What? Are you joking? Well, DT is going to go back in and start taking out a couple of drones. And once again forces Rex back. This is not only Rex back. This is not only bad because he forces him back, but also because he just doesn't have any workers left. And just going to send a couple of roaches back right now. This delayed his push by about a minute. These 3 DTs. He killed in solid 12, 30, 18 workers. I'm not sure if all of that is DTs, but I guess some of those were the initial adepts. It's funny because Haas's army still isn't that big. But at this point it's big enough where it's like, well, yeah, you can't just attack into that. Rex right now needs to drone back up. 3 more workers are on the way. 7 more workers are on the way. 8 links being popped out as well. And we'll see what this will do. Haas moving out. Up 20 workers. Up an upgrade. About to be up 2 upgrades. And still deciding to go for an attack. This is the most unnecessary attack in the world of attacks. This is absolutely not something that I would recommend. Here we go. Archons moving forward. Baal's missing everything so far. Single Immortal in the back dealing a lot of damage. +2. 10 seconds away from finishing up. I don't think this is going to play too big a role in this fight though. Immortal gets picked up. Good micro out of Haas. Trades relatively okay. And even though this is going to get cleaned up, I still don't completely mind this fight. Still has he's gonna keep 2 of his Archons alive, well, 1 Archon and 1 Immortal. He's gonna run back home. The fight was not necessary, but it also wasn't a bad fight for him. Cost efficiency wise, yep, was absolutely fine. He is outmining his opponent. He is on +2 currently, and Rex is moving across the map, but Rex has absolutely nothing. Overseers are joining the fray this time around. 3 more Zealots being warped in. There's so many Zealots already. 2 Immortals, 2 Archons, and I would not be surprised if Rex decides to tap out as Haas with this weird fast forge style. Let's not forget, defending a 12 pool without scouting. I'm not even sure quite how that happens, but he managed to do it. Gets another warping in, and what is the worker count? What's the unit count right now? We have 11 Zealots, 3 Immortals, 3 Archons against a mere 8 Roaches and a single Ravager. GG gets called. And Haas wins the series 2-0.